From Morgantown, West Virginia, you're watching the Big 12 now on ESPN+. The 25th ranked Texas Longhorns are in town to take on the Mountaineers of West Virginia as we welcome you inside the WVU Coliseum. That's Brendan Manzer. I'm Eric Rothman. Happy to be here with you. And Brendan, Texas, they've won 6 of their last 7. They're healthy. They look good. Looking to continue the role here in Morgantown.
Yeah, and Eric, in that lone loss in that stretch in Lubbock against, or in Austin against Tech, I think there's silver lining. Sometimes good, experienced teams need their attention caught. They responded great Tuesday night in Cincinnati with a tough win there. A chance for another road win here tonight in Morgantown.
Yeah, you mentioned the experience. How about the grad transfer, Max Asmus? He's been fantastic since coming over from Oral Roberts.
Yeah, household name in 2021 where he led Oral Roberts to the Sweet 16. He's known for his effortless shooting from three-point range, but he can also get to mid-range at will. Case in point, game winner against Cincinnati on Tuesday night. And also, Eric, one of the things about Asmus that I love, very underrated passer, 4.5 assists a game. It's the reason that he's on the Wooden Award top 25 watch list.
It's a very experienced Texas team coming off a buzzer beater win on Tuesday on the road against Cincinnati. And who had that buzzer beater? Oh, it was Max Asmus. So they're 12-3. West Virginia, it's been a tough road this year. We'll get into it for head coach Josh Eilert, the interim head coach here in Morgantown. They're 5-10, one of the more unique seasons in probably college basketball history. We'll try to get into what's been going on here in Morgantown as the game goes on. The burnt orange-clad Texas Longhorns win the tip. And already things are going off the rails. Good job, Brendan.
You're already blaming that on me, Eric?
Well, you're the only one here.
You touched on West Virginia. And Josh Eilert, I talked to Ren Baker, athletic director, earlier today, and they're so happy with the way he's handled a tough situation, professionally, classy, holding the ship together. 3 new guys recently added that are still getting implemented and developing chemistry. They've got some guys that can play.
Here is Dylan Mitchell, the mid-range jump shot not there as West Virginia, again, 5-10 overall, 0-2 in conference play this year. And for Josh Eilert in his first year, again, the interim head coach, elevated to interim head coach on June 24th when Bob Huggins resigned from his position. You see the starting lineup: Kobe Johnson, Kirk Kriisa in the backcourt, Raekwon Battle, Josiah Harris, and Patrick Sumnick. This is a team that is missing Jesse Edwards, the transfer from Syracuse. It was a depleted team to begin with, but they're really missing their big man down low.
Well, and he's their most important player, the only true 5 on the roster, and he's really good. And so hopefully he continues to get better. They will get him back at some point, hopefully in the next couple weeks. And then even when he does return, Eric, as you know, it'll take some time for him to get integrated.
Tyrese Hunter coming off the curl. Bad shot, missed everything. Offensive rebound and a whistle as collision underneath. Brock Cunningham colliding with Raekwon Battle. And offensive rebounds, I know that wasn't a great shot, but offensive rebounds is something that Josh Eilert told us, listen, we can't give Texas second chance opportunities because we're too small with Jesse Edwards out.
You're exactly right. And conversely, Rodney Terry talked to you and I about that earlier today, that they want to attack the offensive glass. West Virginia has not rebounded it well at either end of the floor. And certainly something going back to Edwards, which would be much different were he available.
Edwards averaging before he went out 15 points, 9 rebounds. You see him there with the wrist brace on the right arm. He's eager to get back in the lineup. Brock Cunningham at the free throw line for Texas after the first foul of the game on Raekwon Battle.
West Virginia, as they continue to develop on the offensive end, to me, that is not the long-term concern. The concern is the rebounding we just talked about, and then defensively, they've given up 80-plus points in each of their first 2 Big 12 contests.
Here's Kirk Kriisa knocking down the triple, the first field goal of the game for the Mountaineers.
Boy, Kriisa really gives them stability. He's actually a pass-first type point guard, but scores, shoots it well. He's 38% from 3 this season.
Asmus can't answer. And another offensive rebound by Brock Cunningham. Second chance opportunity here for the Longhorns. Hunter driving to his right. Might have gotten away with a travel. Instead, it's a bunny underneath for Dylan Mitchell.
Yeah, Texas also, with Asmus and Hunter, want to attack off the bounce and get to the paint. Really good playmaking duo, together averaging 9 assists per ball game.
Battle thought about it. There's a little shoulder shove to get some separation there. Good move by Raekwon.
Yeah, really can score, elite score. And the thing with him, as you talk to West Virginia staff, is him managing the balance between attack mode and then letting the game come to him, because he is the focal point of all scouting reports defensively of their opponents.
Battle this season averaging 21 points per game as Asmus pulls up from the free throw line. And this is a West Virginia team, Brendan, who you look at, they've really only been together as a unit for 5-6 games. You've had guys that had to sit out because they're two-time transfers. You had Krisa who had to sit out because of impermissible benefits at Arizona, injuries. It's crazy when you look at the lineup.
And then you integrate guys that can play and score, like Battle as he misses there, but others who have been there.
Oh my, Patrick Sumnick only had 2 points in the last game out for the Mountaineers. Gets the start tonight. It's an emphatic first field goal for him in this one. And it's going the other way. Turnover on the travel against the Longhorns.
Well, this is the second straight start for Sumnick. And the reason is this: potential rebounding ability gives him more of a physical presence. And another reason he's in there, Eric, he really had excellent back-to-back games against Ohio State and at Houston. He was one of the bright spots in that loss to the Cougars.
Mountaineers cough it up. Asmus pulls up for 3. Another offensive rebound, but knocked loose. It was Sumnick who got in there. Already 5 lead changes in this one. Good pace to the start. Battle, collision, fell down, lost it. Turnover on the Mountaineers. That's number 3 for them.
Well, that was one of those case in point where Battle, you're not going to be able to, when a defense is set in this league at this level, attack immediately and get something good.
3-pointer off the mark, rebounded easily by Josiah Harris, as now Texas 0 for 3 from long distance. Here's Battle, crossed his man up, missed the 3-pointer, but a foul on the floor. A man down for West Virginia, and a timeout taken as Texas called for the foul. How about Patrick Sumnick, the big man, getting some minutes with Jesse Edwards out and making them count. Mountaineers up 1 early here in Morgantown, and really interesting dynamic between these two head coaches. Josh Eilert, the interim head coach for West Virginia. Rodney Terry in his second season at the helm for Texas, but his first full season as he was the interim head coach last year in Austin. Obviously, Chris Beard getting fired, he took over. Same thing here in West Virginia, Bob Huggins resigning and Eilert taking over. And I asked Coach Terry earlier today, what is Coach Eilert going through? And he says, honestly, you can't even imagine. You kind of have to just stick to the game plan, focus, because look at the timeline for West Virginia. You have Edwards, Krisa, and Battle join, and then Bob Huggins resigns. You have all those guys transfer out. Eilert named interim head coach in the middle of June. Brendan, they were supposed to go on a team trip to play in Europe and Italy in mid-July. They had to cancel. They only had 6 guys on the roster in mid-July. Coach Eilert's had to put this roster together with scotch tape and paper clips.
I mean, it's and he's handled it great. And as we talked to him this afternoon, and tongue-in-cheek, like there's no book that teaches you how to deal with a situation like that. But that's the case, and he understands that. And I think, you know, as he continues to get more games with Battle and Krisa playing that backcourt together, you get Edwards back. Look, there's enough talent. There's guys that can play at this level. It's just, you know, they're behind the 8 ball. No international tour, and you know, not enough bodies healthy and available.
Yeah.
As you get into Big 12 conference play.
Really learning on the fly for Eilert. 16 years as a lieutenant under Bob Huggins, taking over this year as the interim head coach. That's a travel on Harris. But again, we go back to it. You look at guys like Noah Farrakhan, 2-time transfer, missed the first 9 games. Kirk Krisa missed the first 9 games, impermissible benefits at Arizona. Jesse Edwards been out for nearly a month. A Cook has missed 7 games with an injury, still dealing with some health issues. Raekwon Battle, 2-time transfer, missed 9 games. I mean, how do you expect to win when you have that situation? Plus, you don't have a head coach till the middle of June.
You sure you got everything there?
I think I missed some. Here's Dylan Dessou, and you talk about mid-season additions. Dessou comes back after missing the first 9 games with a left foot injury. Knocks down the 3 there. He had 33 points the other day in the win against Cincinnati.
And really worked the pick and pop well, but they also threw it inside, got touches inside to him where they put pressure on Cincinnati defenses. So that's the beauty of Dessou and his offensive game, is his versatility and where you can move him around the floor.
Here's Raekwon Battle, drawing a triple team. Kriisa left open with 1 on the shot clock, and it's the second 3-pointer of the game for Kerr Kriisa.
And West Virginia's done a nice job. Obviously, Kriisa has the ball in his hands quite a bit, but he's been able to get 2 catch-and-shoot threes with the ball finding him.
Horton, that one lipped out. Offensive rebound, Cunningham. He's had 3 of those already. Asmus dumps it off inside Dylan Mitchell.
Tell you what, Brock Cunningham epitomizes what you want in a teammate. I mean, you have to have him on the floor because of all the positive plays he makes.
A Cook. Missing the 3, an offensive rebound by Battle, nothing doing there. A Cook just 2 for 8 on the season from 3-point range. And an 11-10 lead here, nearly 7 minutes into this ball game in Morgantown, and nobody home on that pass. Cunningham saves it from going over the timeline, and a foul on Battle, his second.
Yeah, that's a tough spot now for West Virginia with Battle, apparently with his second 6.5 in. But there's that catch and shoot, high and soft. Great job of getting it off quickly because he had the good footwork. And then this is off the Brock Cunningham 3rd offensive rebound. When that happens, Eric, as you know, you can't immediately score. Typically, it's a broken floor. Texas does what you need to do in attacks.
Brock Cunningham doing the dirty work. That was a turnover turned into a foul on West Virginia's best player. 6 second chance points for Texas. A lot of those thanks to Cunningham. Dessou travels underneath, and a turnover on Texas, their 3rd.
Well, that time right there, again, we talked about his versatility. Hit the 3 a couple possessions ago, but you can throw it to him on the block. And that's a challenge for anybody, but especially West Virginia, when you don't have really true bigs that can combat that. So they're going to have help on Dessou when he catches.
Ofri Neve, the freshman from Israel, having trouble keeping possession. Instead, it lands in the hands of Kerr Kriisa, who misses the triple. Asmus stopped on a dime, had his pocket picked by Battle, tripped up, and a foul on the Longhorns. Excuse me, that was Noah Farrakhan who got the steal, and the foul was on Zarek Onyema, the junior from El Paso. As Farrakhan has been a nice addition, the transfer from Eastern Michigan, averaging 14 points per game.
Yeah, definitely a scorer, a guy that could get rolling offensively. And one of the things when you talk about scores is when they don't shoot it well, are they still able to produce points? He was 2 of 9 from the floor, Eric, against K-State, but still scored in double figures with his ability to get to the foul line.
And again, along with Raekwon Battle, they weren't sure if they were even going to be able to play this year. The court case allowing 2-time transfers came down, and the NCAA rebuked that rule that they had made it prior to the season, allowing guys like Farrakhan and Raekwon Battle to become immediately eligible, as Dylan Dessou picks up the foul. And here is Ofri Neve, the freshman from Israel.
Yeah, another one of those, of course, over half the roster. I was going to say a late August edition, but that pretty much most of Josh Eilert's ball club. You know, skilled 3, really active. You can tell, you know, like all freshmen, Eric, as he gets more time out on the floor, makes positive plays, his confidence increases.
Missed them both. Scoring drought for both teams here, stuck at 11-10, just over 12 minutes to go in half number one. Eric Rothman, Brendan Manzer here with you in Morgantown. Tough shot off the curl as Ithiel Horton misses everything, goes out of bounds.
Yeah, Horton shoots it well, but I don't think Rodney Terry wanted a pretty well contested fadeaway from three-point range on that possession.
West Virginia won for their last 7 from the floor. Here's Lazinski, and he knocks down the 3. So West Virginia, a team that came into the game averaging just 30% from three-point range on the year, is 3 for 8 to start this first half. Hunter left alone in the corner, not there. A lot of quick possessions for the Longhorns, Brendan.
Yeah, and that's, you know, for a team in West Virginia that struggles to defend in the half court. Nice pass right there.
Yeah, late whistle. Late whistle as a cook got the dish underneath. He'll go to the free throw line when we return here in West Virginia. In the Elite Eight, and there's a reason. Obviously, this test case is not the particular reason, but there's a reason you hire guys like Rodney Terry, right? Guys that have been head coaches in the past. Not because you necessarily expect them to take over in a situation like that, but because you want their experience. When there's adversity, you've got an entire staff of guys who have been there, done that before.
And he was at Texas with Rick Barnes, so he knows Texas as well. You know, one of the reasons I feel like that, in addition to just his knowledge and experience, he was able to navigate through that, and not only navigate, but excel.
Yeah.
He understands college basketball players. Honest with them, he's for them. They know that when he's coaching them, he's trying to get them better. He's got a good relationship with them, but also their respect.
Caden Shedrick sent packing by a cook. A lot of contact underneath. No whistle. Ball stays with Texas. Horton might have gotten away with a travel. Instead, 3 to shoot. Here's Weaver slashing inside. Ton of gold jerseys coming in, and a foul against West Virginia. It seemed like the Mountaineers did everything right on that possession except get the basketball.
Yeah, great effort, great pressure on the ball. But once you get out of position, especially in late shot clock situations, Texas, we talked about Asmus, we've talked about Hunter being able to get downhill, so too will Weaver. So that was smart right there. Understanding he had plenty of time as he turned the corner to attack.
Ofri Neve picking up his first personal. I've been impressed with the defensive activity for West Virginia. We've seen a lot of forced shots by Texas, a lot of early in the shot clock forced shots, quick possession. Right now it's a 3-minute scoring drought for the Longhorns.
Yeah, the effort and energy is certainly there, and that's the first part of it, right? To be a good defensive team. The second thing is just learning to be sound, especially in those late shot clock situations. You don't gamble and you don't get out of position.
Tried to go with the backdoor cut. Cunningham once again in the way, and a turnover on West Virginia. That's their 5th as a team. Here's Hunter driving in. A cook. The block, and they say it's a goaltender.
One of the things I've liked since his freshman year, even at Iowa State, is Tyrese Hunter is downhill first. You see that burst right there? I mean, once that gap opened, I mean, boom, he was swift to the rim.
Texas picking up full court. Trying to make West Virginia a little uncomfortable, nearing the midway point here in the first half. Texas shooting just 35% from the floor, West Virginia 42. There's Battle driving and a travel.
So we talked about Battle earlier. It's like they want him to be in attack mode. But when Texas or any other team defensively, Eric, is set up in the half court, he almost initiate the offense, go away, let the ball move, let bodies move, and then when it returns to you, hopefully that defense has shifted with his elite scoring ability, and then attack from there. He's not going to be able to attack off a pass or no passes at all, especially since teams are concentrating on him.
comes over from Montana State last couple of years, do you think it's just a matter of, hey, I came from a smaller school, I was kind of the man, I had to do everything, and still carrying that mentality over here in West Virginia?
Yeah, maybe a little bit. And it's not selfishness. It's he also knows that at times they have labored to score, and they do need him to score. It just has to be more efficiently.
Good pass by Farrakhan, but Kobe Johnson unable to handle it. And right back to West Virginia. Another turnover on Texas. That is their 6th. You take a look at the numbers for Raekwon Battle. Started his career at Washington, then went over to Montana State. Had to miss the majority of the non-conference season as a 2-time transfer. He's averaging 21 points so far this year for the Mountaineers.
And they've hung tough while he's been over there.
6 turnovers for Texas, 7 for West Virginia. Here's Seth Wilson. That is turnover number 8. This has been a sloppy start to the first half on both sides of the basketball. And these two teams don't turn it over that frequently. You look at their season stats, Texas averaging 12 a game, West Virginia averaging 11. They're going to hit that number in the first half here. Four turnovers in the last 2 minutes for West Virginia as they drop into a zone. Now flash back into a man. Hunter. At the elbow, it's Mitchell. And Farrakhan out with it.
Yeah, really good defensive possession right there. Everything was in front, forced Texas into a jumper.
Let's see what they do in the half court with Raekwon Battle on the bench. They draw a foul way away from the basket on Shedrick. That's where you don't want a 6'11 guy to be playing defense.
Good to see him back here tonight. This really gives them terrific rim protection, excellent offensive rebounder, and they felt like in his minutes here tonight, Texas, that he could be effective, especially on that offensive glass.
Shedrick missed the game on Tuesday against Cincinnati with back spasms. Slazinski inside, tried to dump it off. Instead, it's picked off. Turnover number 9 on West Virginia here in the first half. Asmus. And a foul underneath on Texas. And despite all the turnovers for West Virginia, Texas hasn't scored in the last 2 minutes. And talk about the back spasms. There's Shedrick getting the heating pad on the back as he came off the floor.
Well, the intensity has certainly been there tonight for West Virginia on the defensive end. You know, and there's going hard, and then there's an intense focus part of it as well. That has been there for the Mountaineers.
5 turnovers in the last 3 minutes for West Virginia. Farrakhan blocked. Just nothing going on offensively for the Mountaineers, but it's also been over a 2.5 minute drought now for Texas, so unable to capitalize. Just over 8 minutes to go here in the first half. As the straightaway 3-pointer not there for Dylan Dessou.
And he obviously can knock those down, but Slazinski, good job of contesting and being in the area.
Good offensive rebound by Patrick Sumnick. He's been a spark here in the first half when he's been on the floor.
Well, both teams, Eric, have labored to score. That was about 10 minutes ago from Sumnick. That one 8 minutes ago from Mitchell. We're in a scoring drought. Defensive battle here in the Big 12 in Morgantown.
Into a college basketball game where a mountain man throws you donuts in the crowd. We're in Morgantown, West Virginia. And West Virginia on top, 15-14 over 25th ranked Texas. Eric Rothman, Brendan Manzer here with you. And Brendan, you look at the stats. Both teams won for their last 7. It's been about 5 turnovers in a row in the last 3.5 minutes for West Virginia. And I'm trying to decide, is it bad offense? Is it good defense? What's going on here in Morgantown?
Well, we can spin it any way we want, right? No, defensively, both teams have been great. You know, West Virginia, it's well documented. They have struggled on that end of the floor. So Josh Eilert has to be pleased with that. However, Texas has helped them out. They were a jump shooting team. You know, West Virginia has struggled allowing points in the paint. these first two Big 12 games. Texas could move it, attack off the bounce, and get there more. And the other side of it is just throw it in there to your 5, whether it's Dessou or whoever is in the ballgame, put pressure on West Virginia. And then obviously the thing for West Virginia offensively, you already said it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, you can't turn the ball over like they have. But they have hung tough. The silver lining, they've hung tough with Battle going out about 6 minutes ago.
Look at the combined stats as Hunter fires a 3. We've got 5 more turnovers than we do made field goals. Make it 6 as that one thrown away. Kirk Kriisa trying to drive in with numbers, stops, and nobody there. 0 points in the last 4 minutes and change for West Virginia. But despite that, it's a 2-point lead for the Mountaineers. Kriisa already has 2 3-pointers on the day, pulls up from mid-range, and a rebound underneath for the Longhorns.
You know, sometimes when you're playing good D, Eric, it's easier to settle for jumpers. I mean, you got to be disciplined, continue to run your stuff right there. So we just talked about that. Get that thing inside.
It's Zarek Onyema, excuse me, the junior from El Paso. Nice one dribble post move. Tying it up at 16, just under 7 minutes to go.
Yeah, got great position there inside. Able to go over that right shoulder.
That's a nice move on the baseline underneath. Kobe Johnson, one of only 4 returning players from last year's team.
I thought he was pretty good against K-State. His minutes have gone down a little bit as Asmus gets the lid off the basket. Johnson's minutes have gone down a little bit since those guys became eligible. But he was good against K-State in his 19 minutes.
See if that gets Asmus back on track. Now 2 for 6 from the floor. A response from Slozinski, not there. And a turnover on Texas.
When we came out of that timeout, what does Texas need to do? Throw the ball inside. Great position right there. Sumnick caught behind, able to position himself because of the isolation to go over that right shoulder. When you know, even when you have the ability that Texas does, especially with an Asmus, to knock down the 3 or the mid-range or whatever, sometimes it's not working. And to get yourself in rhythm, you got to find things near the rim. So it was a nice job of the Longhorns.
Harris traveled. We are up to 18 combined turnovers here in the first half. 10 on West Virginia, 8 on Texas.
Well, good hands right there. You know, one of the things for the Mountaineers is they've been lucky that more points haven't come off those turnovers from Texas. They will not be able to survive the length of the game, continue at that pace.
2 possessions in a row, though, that Asmus has got a good look.
And that's right. That's what happens with scores. So he hits the 3. And obviously, you have to look at running him off that, or certainly be there on the catch. But he's got such a great ability to make the right choice offensively.
He's got 7 points now. It's a 3-point advantage for the Longhorns. Sumnick baseline. Second time he's done that exact same thing here in the first half. Lost his man, though, defensively. Lucky to not get a whistle as Onyema goes down hard. Now Wilson in transition. And the loose ball, it's Onyema, travel.
Yeah, what Yogi Berra say? Eric, like deja vu all over again? We saw that earlier. Obviously, he likes to go right along that baseline. And again, Sumnick, they love his energy, his toughness. Big reason they've inserted him in the starting lineup to help them get off to good starts here in Big 12 play.
And again, without Jesse Edwards, who's out with the wrist injury, somebody's got to step up. I mean, Coach Eiler telling us Jesse Edwards was really our only true 5, so Sumnick's got to do something. A beautiful assist by Sumnick on the broken play as Josiah Harris finishes it off.
And a great job of Sumnick hanging with the play, being strong. Knew he had 2 Longhorns near him. That made someone else available, and that was Harris.
Sumnick, 5 points, 3 rebounds, now 1 assist as West Virginia reclaims the lead 4 minutes to go. Mitchell, no man's land. Good defense by the Mountaineers, and that's another turnover on Texas, and the fans here in Morgantown are on their feet.
Well, Eric, they're on their feet because this ball club is playing with great tenacity and intensity. Sumnick, a couple of dunks, but an assist right here.
Marco Polo. I don't know what this gentleman was doing, blindfolded, crawling around like a dog during the timeout, but he was seemingly trying to find something. Texas trying to find something. You look at the game summary, 11 lead changes. Both teams already up to nearly their season averages in turnovers. We had 20 turnovers combined in this second half, or excuse me, in this first half. And Brendan, if you're Texas over the last 4 minutes here in this first half, what do you need to do to get things going here on the road?
Well, continue to get stops. Keep the crowd out of it. You know, you're talking about a West Virginia team that has, you know, they've struggled their first 2 conference games. And if you're the Longhorns, you can get on a little run going into halftime. Obviously, a little bit of momentum, maybe a little bit of doubt for the Mountaineers. And conversely, West Virginia's been able to hang tight since Battle went out at the 13.5-minute mark. I mean, you would have lots of positives to talk about if you're able to protect him, right, with just those 2 fouls going into halftime. And certainly would be positive things to talk about. And so I appreciate you bringing that up, because I think this last 3:39 is crucial for both teams, as it always is, especially the Mountaineers.
For West Virginia, when you have a team that's been kind of, as we talked about it, put together last minute, guys have missed a ton of games, you've got Jesse Edwards out with an injury, you sometimes need to have someone unexpected step up. And so far in this game, Patrick Sumnick has been fantastic. He has been aggressive both sides of the basketball, and he's really dictated the vibe here in this building and gotten this crowd really engaged.
And I think a good move of Josh Eilert inserting him into the lineup. We talked about good games against both Ohio State and Houston. You know, Houston outfights everybody, but Sumnick, as I said, was one of the bright spots in that ball game, hanging tough, and it's carried over into K-State and carrying over here tonight.
That's a tough shot for A. Smith with a hand in his face, buries his second three-pointer of the game.
And notice that the points have come here recently. Scores in bunches.
Kirk Kriisa can't answer. Offensive rebound. Who else? It's Patrick Sumnick. Great spin move. Left hand finish for the big fella. Who had Patrick Sumnick as your Mountaineers leading scorer here in the first half on your bingo card? 9 points on 3 of 3 shooting. Texas goes inside. Onyema, too strong, good defense in the low post by West Virginia. 26-24 Mountaineers. Battle, calling for it. And another turnover on Texas after the defensive rebound. Kirk Kriisa wildly into the lane, and now numbers for the Longhorns. Here's Mitchell, high dribble, 2 steps, yep.
That's elite right there. I mean, that is a future NBA star in transition. And that's, you know, West Virginia's got to be careful. You like Kriisa attacking the rim, but you can't throw it off the glass hard like that. That was just a built-in outlet pass for the Longhorns to capitalize. That's basically like a turnover.
Mitchell, the former McDonald's All-American in his sophomore campaign for Texas, averaging 11 and 9. And there's Patrick Sumnick shouldering the load down low for West Virginia. Has been perfect so far from the floor. 9 points, 4 rebounds, and 1 assist. And again, it's the energy that he's bringing here to this home crowd.
No doubt. And his energy outside of the numbers was already making a difference, and now he's flowing, and it trickles down to your teammates. It trickles down defensively when you make a play like that. The offense moves better, and you mentioned it, I think you're exactly right. West Virginia, outside of a Raekwon Battle and a Kirk Kriisa, has to have a guy or two step up here tonight. Sumnick's certainly been one of those.
You could just tell, talking to Coach Eilert earlier today, especially with Edwards out. He kept bringing that up because Edwards was the focal point of what this offense was going to be this season. And you could just tell in the conversation we had with him, he's just waiting for somebody else he could rely on. Yeah. And maybe Sumnick is that guy as we're now in the second week of conference play. The lob inside, Sumnick can't finish. Battle was there to clean it up.
And I love what Josh Eilert did there coming out of the timeout. Now, with the way that Sumnick is playing, the confidence with which he's playing the offensive end, I mean, he's your go-to guy.
Looking for explosive plays out of the timeout. Cunningham nearly coughed it up. Nowhere to go on the pivot with 6 to shoot. 3 to shoot, off his knee. Cunningham inside and a late whistle. Oh, and that bails out. Texas has .3 on the shot clock.
Yeah, heads up play by Brock Cunningham. Understanding having enough time to go make that play right there.
I don't know, without that foul, I don't know if Onyema was going to get to the rim before the shot clock expired as Krisa picks up his first personal.
You know, West Virginia, I mean, if you're breaking it down technically, maybe away from the ball, that hasn't been perfect from West Virginia, but what has been there, we talked about the intensity, the focus, the passion on that's into the floor, but they have pressured the ball in a great way. So Texas has not been comfortable. And this is something for the most part, at least through the first 2 Big 12 games, the Mountaineers haven't been able to make the opposing offense uncomfortable. And that's the way Texas has looked here in the first half.
Texas has made 5 of their last 7, however, and those 2 free throws tied up at 28. 1 minute to go here in the opening half. Here's Raekwon Battle. Five to shoot. Sumnick puts it on the deck. The fadeaway and the sweet touch for Patrick Sumnick, the first Mountaineer in double figures with 11.
Well, if this is the first time you'd seen West Virginia play, you would assume that Sumnick was always your go-to inside. But remember, it started with offensive rebounds. It started with energy. Got a couple dunks early, and now all of a sudden they are running offense for him. We saw the pick and roll out of the timeout previously, and then right here. I mean, why not? He's been able to get himself deep enough in that paint area to go make plays, playing with a tremendous amount of confidence, needless to say.
Sometimes it's all about opportunity. You look at Sumnick's season numbers: 3 points per game, 2 rebounds per game. Cincinnati game on Tuesday was his first start of the season. Only had 2 points, 4 rebounds. But now you come home. Now you get your second start of the season. You're playing in front of your home crowd. And coach is telling you, like, hey, big man, you're the guy. We've got nobody else down low. So you're out there, and you're going to stay out there, and he's taking advantage of it.
And certainly, we have credit West Virginia, but Texas has not played like Texas here in the first half. A little quick on the offense at times.
Yeah.
And we've talked a lot about West Virginia, and Texas is just down 2 on the road in the Big 12.
That's right. A-Smith's a big reason why they're only down 2 with the ball right now. He's got 10 points on 4 of 8 shooting.
And Battle in there right now. I would attack him with those 2 fouls. That's what Hunter looks like he's trying to do.
3 seconds to shoot for Cunningham. Came up short. And a shot clock violation, 8.3 seconds to go here in the half.
Again, good pressure on the ball. West Virginia sound there, just keeping everything in front, making Texas shoot over the top.
So West Virginia, chance to get one more bucket before the break. Josh Eilert talking to one of the referees on the baseline for the inbound. Here's Noah Farrakhan. 4 seconds. Farrakhan to his left. Contested. Rebounded underneath by Harris. And that will end the half. Back and forth. Opening frame, 4 ties, 11 lead changes. 4 points was the largest lead for either team as it stands right now. West Virginia on top, 30-28 at the break here in Morgantown. Patrick Sumnick getting things going for the Mountaineers. He's got 11 points on 4 of 5 shooting, but don't count out number 25 Texas as Max Asmus got things going late in the half. He's got 10 points as the Mountaineers on top by 2 at the break. West Virginia on top 2 at the half. Scooby getting it done during the halftime performance. Getting the crowd riled up here in Morgantown. We welcome you back to the WVU Coliseum. That's Brendan. I'm Eric. Happy to be here with you once again. And so you look at the first half, Brendan, back and forth, a lot of turnovers, sloppy at times. Didn't seem like either team probably played the half that they wanted, but both very much in the game.
Yeah, it was an interesting first half with the turnovers. Good defense at both ends of the floor. Now, I do think that the way the game was played best fits West Virginia long term. So they're hoping to duplicate a sloppy type of grind. Also keep in mind, no Raekwon Battle for 10 minutes or Dylan DeSue for 10 minutes, both being protected with 2 fouls. Somebody who was on the floor and big time offensively, Max Asmus, you know, Eric, it took him a while to get going. Hit a 3, able to open the basket, and with great scores, you see his floater right there, ability to score in bunches, and that was huge for the Longhorns. That's pretty much the offense they have. And then, gosh, we talked so much about Patrick Sumnick. Big time first half, major bright spot for West Virginia recently and as of late, but they certainly didn't think he could come and score like that. So again, I think that adds to it's kind of the interesting part of how the first half went between these two teams.
11 lead changes. Largest lead of the game was West Virginia by 4. 22 combined turnovers. You see the rebounding there. West Virginia has not been a good rebounding team this season. However, +2 in the rebounding margin, and that's leading to points in the paint underneath. And again, 11 of those 16 have come by way of Patrick Sumnick.
Yeah, good numbers for West Virginia. Paint points, more so limiting Texas to 12, but the rebounding part of it, you know, West Virginia last in the Big 12 Conference in rebounding margin, +2 in the first half, which was huge.
And maybe a reason why you look at the rebounding numbers coming into the game for West Virginia haven't been good, but maybe the reason why they've been better here against Texas, one you already mentioned, Dylan DeSue had to sit out a lot of that first half with the foul trouble. The other, Caden Shedrick, only played 4 minutes. He came in, had a hard collision. He already missed Tuesday's game with back spasms. He has not returned. We saw him getting worked on the bench. The back seems to still be an issue. Only 4 minutes in that first half for Caden Shedrick. A big blow down low for the Longhorns as we start the second half.
Yeah, and I thought he was solid, but Onyema, he had to play 9 minutes in the first half because of those 2 things. And look where they go directly to Rodney Terry, to Dylan DeSue, and that won't be the last time that he gets a touch on the offensive end. They'll try to run as much as they can through him.
Just 3 points in the first half for Dylan DeSue, who averages 15 on the season. And without Shedrick, as Kerr Kriisa knocks down a 3, his 3rd of the game. I was mentioning Shedrick, he's out as far as we've seen with those 11 points per game. And so if he doesn't return to the lineup, a big opportunity for West Virginia to exploit down low. Loose ball, long rebound. Asmus gets it right back, lobbed it inside. Errant pass and sloppiness on that possession for the Longhorns. Foul on the floor against Texas, but Brendan, how about Kerr Kriisa? 3 for 6 from distance in this game, and he's averaging 10 points per game on the year, but we've talked about how Battle has been the guy, the go-to guy, and Kriisa kind of sneaking up on you a little bit here in this one.
Well, and all 3 have been catch and shoot off the ball, where the ball has found him. So Texas against Kriisa, you know, on any night, especially tonight because he's shooting it well, have to be there on the catch.
Nice move underneath for Tyrese Hunter, as he's got 4 points now on 2 of 5 shooting.
Yeah, and I would be surprised if Hunter doesn't be in more of an attack mode here the second half. He's just terrific downhill. Both his buckets have been bursts to the rim.
Pick and roll, Sumnick triple team, then a whistle. And listen, if Sumnick can do that. He doesn't necessarily have to score every time, but he's drawing attention. Now he's drawing fouls, and if Shedrick's out and Dylan Dessou with foul trouble, you can't be over-aggressive against him in the lane.
And, you know, we've talked a lot about not having Jesse Edwards, West Virginia. Their only true 5. And, you know, Eric, I've been around it a long time. Even if you don't have a go-to inside, you have to throw it in there and be willing to throw it, get touches to some post player inside to put pressure on the defense. That helps keep you honest, and then it also facilitates and extends to opportunities on the perimeter, because West Virginia very perimeter oriented. So to your point, Sumnick's ability tonight to be a threat has been huge.
Yep. First foul of the game on Tyrese Hunter. Hunter's the one who has it here, caught in no man's land. That is turnover number 14 on the Longhorns. Krisa gave it right back. 3-on-2. Asmus. Loose ball. Dessou, nowhere to go. Goes over top of everybody and one for the big fella.
Well, I don't want to go back and describe all of what led to this right here. A couple of poor exchanges, continued turnover issues for both teams. But Dessou, you see his link right there coming off that 33 points Tuesday night at Cincinnati. Season high 34 minutes. It was interesting, and part of it was Shedrick being out, but in his return, he hadn't played more than 22 minutes. And you wondered how he would respond, and obviously he has responded great. Looks good.
Dessou with 6 points tonight, now over 1,000 in his career. Kobe Johnson with the left hand. Missing too high off the glass. Here's Mitchell. Oh, that's a tough shot. Mitchell went back to his left hand, going right, and converts.
Yeah, right, just so skilled, obviously a high talent.
Raekwon Battle with a head of steam and draws another foul on Texas. 7-0 run for the Longhorns as it stands right now.
Here's that last bucket. Broken floor, splits the seam right there. I mean, that's 6'8", skilled. And Eric, this is why I like Texas long term. They're obviously a good ball club. But if you look at them, really good backcourt. You have, if Shedrick can get healthy, you have rim protection and rebounding. Dessou coming back in a big way the last few games from health. Cunningham is a great piece to have, right? And then Dylan Mitchell has been coming on. The last 2 games he's been really good. He had 16 and 11 against Tech. And then at Cincinnati, it was nothing special, but his 10 points came on 6 shots. I think he is figuring it out at this level.
He's got 8 points already, as Dessou has been much more aggressive here in the opening few minutes of the second half than he was in the first.
No doubt. And we mentioned that he would get his touches here in the second half. And what also helps, you get out of that half with just 2 fouls for him. Good job of Rodney Terry protecting him. But the offense right in front of the bench. And so Coach Terry and his experienced staff can direct traffic and communicate much easier.
Asmus looking for some help. He finds Dessou, 15 on the shot clock. And Dessou will go to the free throw line as a foul called on Patrick Sumnick.
And you saw it a lot against Cincinnati. You know, he hits the 4 threes, and that's what everybody talks about. And he actually was shooting it well going into the Cincinnati game. He was 6 of 9 from 3-point range in the 4 previous returning. But you get these 4s and potentially 5s, Eric, in this league, having to respect that long-range shot. He's skilled enough. You know, 1 or 2 bounces, boom, he's in the middle of the lane, isolated. And that's what makes him so difficult.
And we'll see if this continues here in the second half. It just seems like, exactly like you mentioned, got through the first half, avoided that 3rd foul. Now it seems like he's going into another gear. as Texas has made their last 4 from the floor, and West Virginia hasn't had a field goal in the last 3 minutes.
Yeah, Mountaineers right here is when you need a good look, a high percentage shot. Don't settle for a quick jumper.
Slazinski. Guarded well by Cunningham. Still plenty of time. A finger roll, and it's Sumnick on the offensive glass.
One way to do it right there. Bring that help, that big over to contest. That freed up Sumnick on the backside.
13 points for Sumnick. Here's Asmus off the heel. Kriisa wants to go, looking for some help. Again, ISO for Slazinski. Kriisa left alone. His 4th 3 of the game. Kirk Kriisa's got a dozen. West Virginia back up by 2. Here's Hunter. Mitchell, 10-footer. And a rebound by Kobe Johnson. Johnson, the lob up ahead, and it was wide open, but off the fingertips of Raekwon Battle and out of bounds.
Eric, Texas more assertive offensively here in the second half to Dessou, but a nice little 5-0 run from West Virginia. 5th offensive rebound put back for Sumnick, and then a 4th tray from Kriisa. West Virginia back on top.
By 2 here at home, 14:56 to go in the second half. Eric Rothman, Brendan Manzer here with you in Morgantown. And Brendan, you look at it, West Virginia's kind of been a 2-man game as Sumnick and Kriisa have combined for 25 of the team's 40 points. For Texas, it's been much more balanced. Asmus leading the way with 10, Dessou's got 9, Mitchell's got 8, but they just haven't had that same spark, that same energy, and they're right in this ball game. Is there one guy you're looking for on the Texas roster to say, hey, they've got Sumnick, they've got Kriisa, who's going to be our guy for the Longhorns to give us that spark?
Well, the easy thing would say Dessou, but they're going to, when he's in there, as he is now, try to get him touches. But I think Tyrese Hunter has got to continue to put pressure, especially after ball movement, on West Virginia's defense, because he and Asmus, their ability to get to the paint is really hard to combat.
Dessou really working hard down low, and it's another turnover, number 15 on Texas.
And Josh Eilert has to be pleased with that, because they talked about doubling down, especially on Dessou when he caught it in the post. And it's not something they've been great at. He was a little bit concerned, but right there, great job forcing that turnover.
Kick out, Slazinski wide open for the 6th 3-pointer of the game for the West Virginia Mountaineers.
And how'd they get that one right there, Eric? I mean, it's turning the corner, drawing help, and kicking out.
Dessou ends an 8-0 run to pull Texas back within 3.
That's a difficult guard. There's only a handful of 4s in this league that can defend the 3 and him going off the bounce.
That's the best look we've seen Raekwon Battle get in a while. Didn't force that one.
And a couple things long term. West Virginia has got to continue to defend and rebound well. 2 wide open right there for Asmus, speaking of defense. But Battle at some point is going to have that offensive run. And Sumnick's been great. Kriisa's been great. But you got to have your offensive star have at least one stretch where he gets going.
He's got 8 points on 3 of 7 shooting right now. Inside, Kobe Johnson throws up a prayer. And a foul underneath. Rodney Terry can't believe it. It's against the Longhorns. It's the 3rd on Zarek Onyema. So a big body for Texas with foul trouble now. Again, we haven't seen Caden Shedrick since the 4 minutes into the first half with those back spasms. And now you've got Onyema in foul trouble.
Well, one thing West Virginia has done here in the second half is they're trying to get to the paint first. I mean, their looks from long range, Slazinski, Krisa, they have come from inside out situations. And I'll go back to Sumnick the first half, becoming a force inside. It's almost like okay, we are now committed, whether it's to him or somebody. Maybe it's just off the bounce to get those paint touches if you're West Virginia.
The ball movement by Texas, and it's another turnover. That's number 16. Battle, quick, and not happy with himself.
Yeah, really good job, Mitchell. Mitchell didn't allow him, to turn the corner and then just contested and didn't foul a jump shooter. Used his length defensively.
Mitchell driving left-handed, and it's an offensive foul as Battle stepped in front of him. It's a great play by Battle defensively, but one thing I've noticed, Brendan, in the shots when Battle is forcing it up early in the shot clock, he's not doing enough to create his own shot. You see him here defensively. A lot of it's just been one dribble and let it flow. And when he's had good looks, it's because he's worked it deeper in the paint. He's dribbled a little bit more and made the defense work for it.
It's one thing if he has a broken floor and an angle. Absolutely, you want Raekwon Battle attack it. But again, mentioned a couple times the first half. You know, at this level, sometimes you just have to be patient offensively. Let the ball find you later in the offense.
Good defense by Texas, but it's a late whistle as Kobe Johnson goes out of bounds. And that is team foul number 6 on the Longhorns here. And so the attack mentality of the Mountaineers is really working.
Yeah, and Johnson may be the biggest part of that. It's about the second or third time. He's done a great job of being able to attack the rim, create an angle for himself.
West Virginia now 9 of 15 from the free throw line as Kendall Weaver picked up his first foul. You see head coach Josh Eilert, the interim head coach for West Virginia, taking over for Bob Huggins, middle of June, trying to rebuild this roster. They've really only been together actually playing meaningful games for, frankly, the last 3 weeks. And we're starting to see what this team can become because they have a lot of talent as they're trying to put it together despite their 5-10 record. 0-2 so far in the Big 12. Great pass inside by Cunningham to find Dylan Dessou, who's up to 13.
That is so good by Cunningham. Just the great flash to the high post. And he knew once he received the ball that that was there to Dessou. I mean, that was absolutely pretty basketball.
Slazinski tied up, and Cunningham called for the foul. That's going to put West Virginia in the bonus with just over 11 minutes and 30 seconds to go here at home in the second half. By 3, and how about this? We talk about the depleted roster, kind of the makeshift roster for West Virginia basketball this year. Well, they added a new player just today. Aiden Tagaloa Nelson, a safety on the West Virginia football team, a freshman from Woodford High School in Kentucky, has officially been added to the basketball roster for the remainder of the season. 6'1", presumably a guard, Brendan. Don't know much about him, but he's another body on the bench for Coach Josh Eilert.
Well, you don't add a guy like that unless there's value, right? Certainly at this point of the season. So help in practice, obviously athletic. Coach, I was going to say, Coach Brown sharing one of his players.
Get some work in. Slazinski at the free throw line. Foul trouble for Texas. I mentioned West Virginia now in the bonus. 17 fouls on Texas to West Virginia's 2. And Cunningham and Onyema both with 3 fouls for the Longhorns.
You know, and I keep waiting for it. because it's in there, obviously. Well, Texas just hasn't been able to go on that run. You know, even a couple of mini run being an 8-2 scoring stretch, a quick 6-0, whatever it is. Kind of seems like anytime Texas has had a little bit of momentum, I mean, West Virginia has responded.
Right. Well, I mean, Texas has shot 7 for 11 from the floor here in this half. You'd think that would translate to maybe a lead or even a tie game. Instead, they're trailing by 4. As Farrakhan comes out with it for West Virginia. Kobe Johnson, little Harlem Globetrotter, action dribbling on his backside, and out of bounds. Going to stay with West Virginia, as they say. Brock Cunningham was the last one to touch it.
Yeah, so as Rodney Terry came towards Gary Maxwell, Gary pointed confidently right at Brock Cunningham. You know, off the naked eye, I thought Johnson had thrown it out of bounds.
Farrakhan, tough angle. Only 1 left on the shot clock when he let it go. Up ahead, Weaver double pumps and he'll go to the free throw line.
There you go. Great job of Weaver sprinting that lane. That's how you run a break. It looked seemingly like West Virginia's back in defensive transition. Watch Asmus, eyes up, boom, right there in stride, angle. You know, when you're struggling to score offensively, those sometimes are ways to help you get the lid off the basket. Although I say struggling offensively, they shot it well.
It's the first foul on Quinn Slazinski as Patrick Sumnick comes back into the game for the Mountaineers, and Slazinski will take a seat. As Kendall Weaver at the free throw line. It's Texas 12-3 on the season, winners of 6 of their last 7. 1-1 in conference play so far. West Virginia 5-10 overall, have yet to win a game in Big 12 conference play, 0-2, and they got a 3-game losing streak that they're trying to get off of. And credit to the fans here in Morgantown. This has not been the season that they were anticipating. Obviously, new coach, a lot of new players, late additions, as we've mentioned. They sold 400 more season tickets than they did a year ago. That's remarkable.
I've been coming up here for years, typically 2-3 times a year, and they have great fans. I mean, it doesn't matter what's going on, they will show up, especially on a Saturday. Atmospheres here on Saturday, outstanding.
Offensive foul on Raekwon Battle, tried to force his way inside, and it was Asmus who took the charge.
And again, impatience. Here's the rotation of the help, and that's where Battle, which he has that ability, pull up for the jumper or drive and kick, and that's crucial because number 3, Eric.
Yep, 3rd foul on Raekwon Battle, the first Mountaineer with 3 fouls. Farrakhan's done a real nice job on Asmus. Asmus only 3 points here in the second half, and that is turnover number 18 on the Longhorns.
So against Cincinnati, they were flat hedging the ball screen on Texas guards Asmus. Watch Sumnick help and then get right back to DeSutte, forcing that turnover. That is difficult to do, but that is excellent ball screen defense by Sumnick.
Battle stays out there with his 3 fouls, has the basketball, 10 on the shot clock. A Cook lets it fly. The big man, who's only 2 for 7 on the year from 3-point range coming into today, knocks down the 3-pointer. Weaver, offensive foul.
Well, when you've been struggling as a team, you got to guard better, rebound better. Both things have happened for the Mountaineers tonight, and then you got to piece it together offensively. We've seen Sumnick make plays that he typically hasn't. And then a Cook, obviously he's feeling it. He shot a 3 earlier in the game.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's one of those, as a coaching staff on the bench, you get up and you say no, and then it's yes, good shot.
Largest lead of the game for West Virginia. They've made 5 of their last 7 from the floor. Just over 9 minutes to go here in the second half. Eric Rothman, Brendan Manzer here with you in Morgantown. Go back to battle. He draws the double team. 3 on the shot clock now. Kirk Kriisa. Asmus has been real quiet here in the second half. Cunningham lets it fly. Dessou the offensive board. Dessou muscles it up and in.
Right. First of all, great job of Dessou leaving his area to run it down. Goes, gets it with 2 hands, and then you see the patience right there. Doesn't get sped up, able to get that putback.
Dessou with 15. That one a friendly roll for Noah Farrakhan as West Virginia answers.
Again, each time Texas makes a positive play or two, West Virginia has responded.
Hunter crossover on a Cook, but can't finish. As Hunter now just 2 of 6 from the floor. Sumnick running the lane. He'll go to the line. West Virginia continues to answer the bell. The fans in Morgantown loving it with under 8 minutes to go. In the middle of a Big 12 matchup here in Morgantown. Brock Cunningham picking up his 4th foul right before the break for Texas. Eric Rothman, Brendan Manzer here with you. We looked at the first half, second half scoring. Right now, Brendan, for Texas, it's been all Dylan Dessou in the second half. He's been great, but the problem is nobody else has joined him, and so right now, West Virginia leads 54-48.
Well, you have to continue in the half, and I think there's been some possessions in the half court where he should have touched it. So you have to continue to run it through him. Again, even though Sumnick did a great job on that pick and roll a couple possessions ago, it's very difficult. You feel like Asmus, I mean, he's a gamer. You feel like he's got a stretch coming. So West Virginia obviously wants to be cognizant of that, but I think it's Hunter.
Yeah.
After some ball movement, looking to get downhill, and not just to score, Eric, but to create an easy opportunity. You know, and they've shot it well because of Dessou, 53% here in the second half. The problem is the turnovers continue to now. They've got 19 of them.
It's crazy. Dessou has 12 of his 15 points here in the second half, but second half scoring, really that's been it for Texas. Asmus has 3 in the second half, Hunter 2, Mitchell 2, Weaver 1. And so they're looking for a secondary scorer, are the Longhorns here, with 7.5 minutes to play. They go back to Dessou as he works ISO on Sumnick. 2 to shoot, tough fadeaway jumper. Not the shot they wanted.
And Sumnick did a great thing right there. You see how far out Dessou was. And even when there was contact, Sumnick held his ground and made that a tough turnaround fadeaway shot.
Farrakhan inside, Sumnick pops out.
Unselfish play right there, but it looked like Farrakhan could have laid it in.
Dessou straight away for 3, lips out. It's Texas 4 for 15 from 3-point range in this game. And West Virginia is going to take a timeout with 6:33 to go here in the second half. Rodney Terry and Texas need a spark. Will they get it here in Morgantown? West Virginia leading at 55-48, 6:33 to go here in the second half. Eric Rothman, Brendan Manzer with you in Morgantown. And Brendan, I know we talked about the experience on the court for Texas, but in games like this, in conference play when it's tough, not only do you need experience on the court, but on the sidelines as well. And this coaching staff for the Longhorns has experience in spades.
It is such a good staff. First of all, they're all close, and they all have different skill sets. That's Steve McLean right there. 14 years a Division I head coach. What I love about him, I've watched him for years and years. He still has the same energy he had 2 decades ago. And then you have Frank Haith, who they added this year, who was at Texas with Rick Barnes at the same time Rodney Terry was. He has 18 years. And then Chris Ogden, who left the head coaching position, played at Texas, understands the culture and what it takes there. 3 years of head coaching experience. So different skill sets. Rodney Terry is the face of it, but all of these guys, as you see Frank Haith there, who's most recently at Tulsa, get input and are a vital part of it. So you look at a game like, to your point, down on the road, have not played well, certainly don't want to take anything from West Virginia, but Texas has struggled. They've been out of sync. But having that over there on the sidelines, they've been through it all. And it'll be interesting to see how Texas finishes this game.
There's still plenty of time, 6 minutes, 19 seconds to go. What's going to be a problem? The foul trouble for Texas. That's their 10th team foul on Texas. So West Virginia in the double bonus. Dylan Dessou picks up his 3rd personal on the play. And so now West Virginia, with this lead, can have the luxury of attacking the basket at will and not worrying about their foul trouble. They've only got 5 as a team.
And I'm impressed with how they got there. And they've gotten there in terms of the foul buildup for Texas by attacking the rim. It's funny how that works.
2.5-minute drought for Texas. That is the 20th turnover on Texas, tied for the most that they've had in a single game this year. Slazinski on the baseline, foul number 11 on Texas. Asmus called this time. It's his 2nd personal.
Yeah, sorry, big size differential right there. You got Asmus on Slazinski, and why he got in trouble there, and you got to go straight up, and he came down with his arm, so there's no way that the official could avoid not calling that.
Slazinski didn't play much in the first half, but that's the 4th or 5th time here in the second half that they've tried to get him ISO on the wing and tried to get him backing down who's ever guarding him, and it's, I think, throwing Texas off a little bit.
I mean, the matchup's there, right? So that's what you want. And I think Slazinski is still getting adjusted. Look, he started the first 10 games before they got the reinforcements. He was averaging 17 and a half. Now his role is not limited, but there's other guys that can score. I think he's still learning how to play off of that.
9 points in 15 minutes for Slazinski, a 3-minute drought for Texas. It's the largest lead of the game for West Virginia. Dylan Dessou quiets the crowd, at least for a moment, with the 3-pointer. And again, Dessou has done all the offensive work here in the second half for the Longhorns.
Yeah, that's the second straight 3. Dessou missed the other one, where West Virginia's slow to get back on the contest. You cannot give him that kind of time, especially the way he's been shooting it since he's been back.
18 points on 7 of 11 shooting for Dessou. And that's a illegal screen called on Slazinski.
Now here's Dessou right here. The pick, the pop. And what Asmus did, he did a great thing. Notice how he took an extra dribble. That drags Sumnick further. So when he throws it back, that gives Dessou extra space. And you know, he's 6'9", and his arms are long, so he's got that high release to get it off.
Sumnick just waiting too long on that hedge that you talked about that was working so well in the first half, as Asmus will go to the free throw line. And again, Asmus only 3 points here in the second half. Maybe getting to the foul line will help that effort, as you see the foul trouble for the Longhorns in this one.
And you see Brock Cunningham right there, and that's the trust that Rodney Terry has in him to be out on the floor. It also shows you, and if you follow Texas, you understand the importance of Cunningham being out there because of all the things that he does right.
Asmus at the free throw line, trying to cut into this West Virginia lead. 4:52 to go in regulation. Texas has won 6 of their last 7. They're ranked 25th in the country this week. As they come out, full court traps. Slazinski nowhere to go, and he wants a timeout. And we'll stay with you with 4:49 to go. West Virginia now down to 2 timeouts remaining here in regulation. 3 for Texas, but nice change of pace defensively for the Longhorns.
Yeah, no, and I think this goes back to what you and I were talking about, the coaching aspect, when you have all that knowledge and experience. So you get the 3 from Dessou the previous possession. You get a stop defensively, and then Asmus does exactly what you want to do. Drives to contact. Stop the clock, you get points on the board with the clock stop. And then that allows you, because of the second free throw make, to jump right into this. So West Virginia not ready for it, and you can tell that by where they entered the ball. Now, they're going to have a spot throw in a difficult position right here. And obviously Rodney Terry will instruct his Longhorns to pick up full once again.
And West Virginia has to burn a timeout, and my mistake, West Virginia now down to 1 timeout for the final 4 minutes and 49 seconds.
Great points. An additional very good point in terms of having flexibility of timeouts, just 1 left.
So it'll be Slazinski to inbound. Farrakhan trapped on the baseline. Good ball fake by Slazinski to beat the press. Farrakhan. Not a great shot, no ball movement on the possession. Here's Asmus. Finds Dessou. Spinning, left hand, too much, loose ball, Slazinski, Kerr Kriisa out with it. Kriisa lobbing, Raekwon Battle throws it down.
Well, on that Dessou attack to the basket, Rodney Terry thought there was contact, and I can't say that I disagree with them. But that allowed West Virginia to get out and get a momentum transition 2-on-1 bucket. Now they got the ball back.
Raekwon Battle getting in the way of that alley-oop attempt. Season high 21 turnovers for Texas as they trail by 8 down the stretch. There's a turnover on West Virginia as Weaver delivers.
Boy, great play and ball pressure by Weaver right there. That's a freebie to get it back to 2 possessions.
Kriisa back to Sumnick, tripped up, and he'll go to the line.
Little 2-on-1 by West Virginia. Every time Texas has made a run, West Virginia continues to answer.
3 minutes, 20 seconds to go here in the second half. West Virginia on top 61-55 at home against Texas. Sarah Kaufman, Brendan Menz are here with you courtside. West Virginia has been getting it done here in the second half defensively. Texas, Brendan, 21 turnovers in this game. Tough to get momentum when you're coughing the ball up that much.
You know, and it's interesting, West Virginia's 21 forced turnovers. A lot of them are that's just careless right there. A guy leaving his feet, nowhere to go. Hey, the first 2 league games, West Virginia combined turned their opponents over 18 times.
Yeah.
And they are last in the league in terms of turning people over per game. And Rodney Terry knows it. Now, credit West Virginia. They've been solid. The defense has been good. But most of those 21 have just been carelessness from a Texas team that usually handles it way better.
Yeah.
And that's an obvious statement.
Guys like Dessou, 4 turnovers. Asmus, 4 turnovers. Hunter, 4 turnovers. Just not what you expect out of this Texas offense as Sumnick back to the free throw line where he makes it 62-55. And he's up to 15 points on the game. Leading scorer for West Virginia. Make it 16.
Now, plenty of time for Texas, but everything's got to be downhill towards the rim when they're in the half court. That's got to be the priority first. Remember, they still have 3 timeouts, which will help them manage down the stretch.
Asmus from 3. Weaver has the offensive rebound, and he'll go to the free throw line. Good effort by Kendall Weaver on the glass.
I'll tell you what, the sophomore transfer from Texas Arlington, I mean, he's made a couple of huge plays. Remember the pick at midcourt where he's able to dunk in transition and right there. That's just great effort. That's nice job to keep things alive for the Longhorns.
It's the 4th foul on Raekwon Battle. So Battle, he's got 10 points, 4 boards, and 2 assists, and really Gets this offense going in terms of its speed and transition. Now has to stay out there with 4 fouls. Sumnick fouled. Dessou, his 4th. Foul trouble on both ends,
yeah, Josh Eilert, as you watch him over there, he's done a great job with this lead managing the possessions. And you can't do it much better than that. So you get the shot clock down to 10. So they milk another 20 seconds. And then opportunity for points on the board right here.
Sumnick, this will be his 12th free throw of the game, as he's 6 for 12 as he misses both of them that time. So Dessou with 4 fouls. Battle with 4 fouls. Cunningham fouled out with 5 as Asmus hits a timely 3 to pull Texas within 4.
It's unbelievable how Asmus continues just to make big shots. And that's why you're never out of it with a guy like that that can score in bunches. I mean, it's just effortless, that smooth jumper from 3-point range.
So with everything that we've talked about negatively that's gone wrong for Texas in this game, the 21 turnovers, the fact that Mitchell and Hunter really haven't gotten anything going offensively, the fact that Asmus was kind of slow to get going here in this second half, all of that being said, they're down 4 on the road, 2:28 to go, plenty of time.
You know what's crazy? I mean, you look down, you think Asmus, I mean, he hasn't been bad by any means, and you think, well, he's not having his typical game. He has 18. And what I like about him, he is not a volume shooter, and he is not all about the 3. He's got mid-range. Doesn't get to the line in the Big 12 as much as he did in the Summit League, but I mean, he's just an outstanding offensive player that knows what to do when he has that rock.
Farrakhan's got to get it over the timeline. Slazinski has it up ahead. Kerr Kriisa, floater in the lane, and a foul. It's on Dessou. That's his 5th. Wow, huge call there, Brendan.
Yeah, most of your block charges are bang, bang. Because honestly, this was probably a poor decision by Kriisa. Boy,
I don't know about that one. We got Kriisa, who's wild into the lane, doesn't know what he wants to do with it. Dessou is standing there.
I didn't know if maybe they felt like he wasn't planted, and he was, he kind of hopped there. The question is, maybe was it Kriisa making his move to the basket after that hop?
So Dessou, with his 18 points, 6 rebounds on 7 of 12 shooting, is done. 5 fouls with 2:16 to go here in the second half.
And worked out for West Virginia, but that was probably not what Kerr Kriisa wanted to do, or should have done.
Gets a trip to the free throw line. Rattles that one in. Kriisa up to 13 points. All of his field goals have come from 3-point range. As you see again, Cunningham and Dessou out. And on the other end, Raekwon Battle has 4 fouls for West Virginia and is still out on the floor. No Dessou, no Cunningham for Texas. Down 6 on the road, 2 and change. Will someone step up for the Longhorns? Here's Asmus and a hand check foul. That is foul number 9 on West Virginia as a team. It's on Slazinski. That's his 3rd.
Well, Rodney Terry really having to manage that bench over there.
Asmus with the 1-and-1.
But again, the thing, this guy at the line, I mean, if you can string a couple of shots or stops together, and he knows what to do. We've seen him attack to contact to get himself to the line.
A rare miss for Asmus from the free throw line, a 92% shooter on the year. Raekwon Battle sends him packing. A second effort for Asmus, thwarted by Raekwon Battle. Under 2 minutes to play. Battle. Fading away. Slazinski, offensive board. He'll go to the line.
Well, down the other end, Asmus ends up with it, but at his size, a little bit of a risk to try to go score. And then right here, milk some time. Battle misses. Slazinski, I'm telling you. And Eric, I think you hit the nail on the head. If you go back to the start of this game with Sumnick in his second straight start, the energy and the toughness, the physical nature that he's bringing at the 5 position. This is a roster that has no 5s. And I think with the early success, this team has gravitated and played more like he was playing as a whole.
West Virginia has shot 32 free throws overall. They've made 21 of them. Asmus, a long distance 3, and a timeout taken by Texas.
Now watch this. Unlimited range. Slazinski. So Johnson goes behind. You have to switch this. Too great a distance for Johnson to recover. And if you've watched him at all, his 5 years in college basketball, that is nothing for him to shoot it that deep. In fact, the majority of his threes come well behind the three-point line.
Over 2,800 career points for Max Asmus. 4 years at Oral Roberts. His grad year now with Texas. He's the active leading scorer in Division I basketball. And he's got 22 in this one on 5 made three-pointers.
And he's out there without an interior presence and the potential pick and pop of a Dessou, a Brock Cunningham who has the knack for making the right play and helping teammates score.
And no Shedrick either, who's been out with the back.
No Shedrick, so it's, you know, he's not alone, but he's the guy that Texas, the players and the bench are looking to find a way here in the last 129.
You see the numbers in close games, and how about the stat? Texas under Rodney Terry, 10-1 in games decided by 5 points or less. And we're within 3, 129 to go. Partner, we got a ball game.
It's uncanny how this league, I mean, it always ends up being 1 or 2 possession game late. It doesn't matter what the previous 36, 37, 38 minutes provided.
Well, 4 minutes ago, West Virginia was up by 11.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Farrakhan up ahead to Battle. Battle, a triple team on Raekwon Battle, and he wins.
West Virginia, really nice job of breaking that, and a big bucket and finish from Battle.
And now Farrakhan all over Asmus, doesn't want to give him a free 3, instead picks up the foul. And that will send Asmus to the line.
So here's breaking of the trap in the full court. These are 2-on-1, a little ball fake there. Boy, nice job, though, Eric, using his offhand, being under control, and going up with strength.
Asmus, again, a 92% free throw shooter on the season. He's now 4 of 5 from the stripe in this one.
And what this does, again, potentially allows Texas to get their full court pressure.
Yep.
And here they come.
It'll be once again Slazinski to inbound. Gets it into Kobe Johnson. And that's the last time out for West Virginia, as Kobe Johnson had nowhere to go. And again, Brendan, that timeout, similar to the one Slazinski had to take earlier in the half. Same spot, different side of the court, but you're not helping yourself at all. Yes, you're getting out of a bind for a second, but now you still have to inbound in the short corner.
Yeah, and you have to, on your press break or whatever it is, start your cuts higher up the floor so that you have room to not catch it in that corner. So they'll have a tough spot throw in. West Virginia will, coming out of this timeout. And now they are out of timeouts. You correctly mentioned at the 4.5 minute mark.
They had one left.
That's when they burned the last one, right?
Yep. Take a look at both the huddles. Win would mean a great deal for Josh Eilert. You could just feel it talking to him today. He knows the talent on this team is there. The record, obviously not where they want it to be in Morgantown, but a win against the top 25 team here at home would go a long way to getting this team back on track. And for Texas, they've won 6 of their last 7, 12-3. The argument against them this year has been their lack of quality wins. They've lost to teams like UConn, Texas Tech. And looking for a come-from-behind victory here on the road.
And there's no timeouts left in this situation. This is a huge press-breaking situation for West Virginia.
Slazinski, nowhere to go. Gets it into Battle on the sideline. Wasn't trapped. Good pass. Slazinski over the timeline. 1 minute remaining. 3-point lead for West Virginia.
Just be solid if you're Texas.
Farrakhan, a Cook. Oh, beautiful. A Cook. Laid out the defender on a screen and then rolled to the basket with the finish.
So I love Weaver and the things that he's done, but he's pressuring. See how high he's pressuring out on the floor, Eric, and then you got to have communication from whose man is screening, and you got to go behind that. There's no reason to go over the top 35 feet from the basket, so that allows the angle, and that's what we're talking about, being solid in that situation. Just allowed West Virginia to really create something when it looked like they were going to have a hard time getting a good look.
This free throw, it's a 5-point game, 40 seconds to go. Asmus has answered the bell every single time. Stripped as he went up, the ball will stay with Texas. And we're going to get a review.
And the West Virginia bench, Josh Eilert jumping up to make sure they were going to get a review. But it's not just about the review. He has no timeouts. So he's able now to talk to his team. So that's smart.
I think it stays with Texas. I don't know if it hit off the leg of Asmus on that replay. We'll take another look.
Yeah, it looked like maybe a little wrist there.
That could have been a foul.
But yeah, this should be pretty quick with Gary Maxwell and crew, we would assume, or should be.
36.2 to go. So let's assume that Texas has the baseline inbound. What's the play and how quickly are you trying to score?
I mean, best look. Yeah. You don't have to take a 3 right here. You've got to extend or stretch out the game anyway. I mean, you would like something fairly easy and at the rim, if possible. You know, we talked about West Virginia being able to regroup without having any timeouts, so that's advantageous. But Texas also, Rodney Terry, a chance to draw something up. I'd keep an eye on Mitchell, 23 at that left elbow, and obviously number 3, Max Asmus.
Asmus has led the way with 24. Dessou is fouled out. He was the second leading scorer for Texas with 18.
Little box set right here. Sorry about that, Eric.
36 on the game clock, 21 on the shot clock. It's Kendall Weaver to inbound for the Longhorns. Asmus in the corner to Weaver for three. No. Knocked around, and Farrakhan has it, and fouled by Asmus.
Watch this defense here. And it looked like Horton had popped open momentarily, but a great job of West Virginia rotating on Asmus. Looked like he was going to turn the corner. I think that was Slazinski on the help right there. Make someone else make a shot. Don't allow Asmus a look. Excellent defensive stop from West Virginia.
Boy, West Virginia has missed a lot of free throws down the stretch here. Farrakhan, a 71% shooter on the year, as West Virginia 21 for 34 from the free throw line. 62% in that department. As Raekwon Battle takes a seat for the Mountaineers. Farrakhan makes it a 6-point lead. Asmus moving. Big three coming, and another one. Max Asmus answers again.
It's unbelievable how he can do this. It's so, I mean, everybody in the building knows, so you're down 6. You've got to have a 3 there because it's a full 2-point possession. Everybody in the arena knows he's going to fire up. Gets a little bit of a rub. Doesn't need much space. It is just so smooth and precise. And maybe one of the best things about him, when he makes shots, he just moves on and doesn't act like, you know, he's all that. He knows there's work left to be done.
So that was the final timeout for Texas. Asmus with 27 points on 6 of 12 shooting from 3.
So with 21.6, it's do you foul immediately, or do you give one trap a chance? And I think there's enough time if you're Texas and West Virginia having no timeouts left. And you try to force West Virginia to catch it low in that corner, get trapped, and see if you can steal one on the backside. Obviously, if that doesn't work, you would have to foul immediately from there.
Once again, it'll be Slazinski to inbound. And he can move on the baseline. Moves to his left. Into Farrakhan. Back to Slazinski. That's a really nice play. And now it'll be Slazinski to the free throw line. Well drawn up.
It was. I mean, really good right there. Learn from the past and how they tried to get open and break that pressure. Well done. This is design. Watch those 2 guards up top. Cross. That allows Farrakhan the angle, and that's just
taking advantage of nobody guarding the inbounder.
Yeah, very smart play by Josh Eilert.
Coach Eilert has put a lot of trust in Slazinski here in this second half, drawing up a lot of plays for him on the offensive end. He's inbounded every big play here down the stretch. Good decision making and converts at the free throw line. West Virginia up by 5. Asmus tripped up and a foul as he is down in a heap. And so is Noah Farrakhan for West Virginia. Foul was on Cook. Asmus shaken up on the play.
Take a look right there.
Knock knees. That never feels good. So Asmus could cut it to a 3-point deficit here with 14 seconds to go.
It continues to be amazing. Asmus just keeps you on the edge of your seat. I mean, and you think, okay, that's probably it. And then he makes a big 3 or gets himself to the foul line like immediately.
28 points for Asmus. Again, Dessou can just sit on the bench and watch as he's been out for the last 5 minutes or so with those 5 fouls. 3-point game once again.
And right here, the substitution also allows Texas to get their pressure set up.
Three-point game. Slazinski has to get it in. Battle knocked loose by Weaver and a foul.
Battle did a really good thing, setting up his man right in front of us and then flashing back to the basketball. Slazinski was in some trouble there and nearing that 5-second mark. It was almost like a quarterback scrambling and Battle being a receiver coming back to be a relief foul.
Big free throws for Raekwon Battle. Once again, a 5-point advantage for West Virginia, this time with 13.4 seconds to go. Asmus picks it up, lost it off of Mitchell's shoe. His teammate Mitchell was standing there trying to set a screen, and he dribbled it off the back of his shoe.
Yeah, just Asmus right at the back of Mitchell there. And Eric, finally, that should do it. What a huge win here for Josh Eilert.
Well, you could just tell talking to him today, he needed this one. He needed it. He needed to see what his team was made of. He wants to see, hey, can we turn this thing around? It's still early in the conference season. Forget what the record is. You can still make something of this season, and this is a big way to start here at home against Texas. Again, Asmus another one, 32 points for him, but it's not enough as West Virginia in Morgantown knocks off number 25, Texas, 76-70, their last win at home against Texas since 2010.
You know, as you talk about Josh Eilert, he also knew how he had to get this with this ball club. I mean, they've been poor defensively. Big 12 teams in the first two games, Eric, shooting a combined 53% from the floor, 41% from three-point range. They had been dominated on the glass by both Houston and Kansas State here in this building on Tuesday night. And so it's amazing, you shore up defense and rebounding, how that can put you in a position to win.
So now Texas drops to 12-4 on the season, 1-2 in conference play. The Mountaineers 6-10 overall, 1-2 in conference play, their first Big 12 win of the season. And we are awaiting that man, Patrick Sumnick, who we'll talk to momentarily as soon as John Denver's Country Roads gets done playing here in Morgantown. Go ahead and sing it, Brendan.
It's one of the cool things, tradition-wise, here at WVU Coliseum.
Tough place to play. And again, credit to these fans in Morgantown coming out, supporting this team. Hasn't been the start of the season they were wanting. Players that maybe they didn't know of 2 or 3 weeks, and maybe a turning point in the season for the Mountaineers.
Yeah, and it says a lot about Josh Eilert and his staff. I mean, they're put in a tough spot. Nobody's making excuses, but if you're being honest and realistic, it is a tough situation. But to beat a really good Texas team, I think Texas has some really good days ahead of them. But to win when you had, and it's not only just winning against a good team, they had played well.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest, they've been bad. They were bad first 2 games, specifically defensively. So congratulations to them on a bounce-back W.
All right, well, Patrick Sumnick wanted to celebrate with his teammates in the locker room. We don't blame him. We appreciate the entire West Virginia team and their staff, the access today, and the fans were great. And a 76-73 win for West Virginia here at home. West Virginia on the board in Big 12 conference play. Taking down the Longhorns. For Brendan Manzer, I'm Eric Rothman saying so long. This has been the Big 12 Now on ESPN+.